of 3 years, a child, at the age of 3 years, the child will be simply dropped in the gymnastic school. The parents think that once a child is born, he or she is born to win a gold medal in the Olympic Games. At the age of 3 years, we don't know what we were doing, but there they are going to drop the child in the gymnastic because they expect that their child has to bring a gold medal for the nation. That is what they think. And if you're going to think, anticipate that what your child has to be, and if you're going to train him in that certain direction, then we call it as anticipatory socialization. The third one is developmental socialization. We are growing every day. We are being developing, my dear friends. As we move on from one phase to the other phase, we are being socialized in that way. Once I was born, even I used to do susu in the bed. My mama used to accept because I was a small infant. I don't know what I am doing. But as the days have passed on, as the years were added on, my parents started teaching me not to do susu. And they also taught me how to express myself. When I'm feeling thirsty, how to describe, or when I'm feeling hungry, how to express. Everything my parents have taught me. And once I got married, how to be a good husband. Once I got a child, how to be the good father. All these things we are being socialized, my dear friends. It is a continuous process, I told you. So as we are being developed in the stage, we are being trained in that manner. The next one, is re-socialization. What do you mean by re-socialization? Think, a Brahmin has joined defense. A Brahmin has joined defense. So think, he has been trained to be a soldier. He went to the border, and after taking the gun, instead of opening the fire at the enemies, he simply put on the garland to the gun and he started doing prayer. Can he win the battle? Instead of winning the battle, the person will also be put to death. So whatever the software he has learned, a Brahmanical one, it does not suit that. It does not suit that. So what he has done, beta, they are going to remove the already software which is there, and they are going to infuse a new software which suits that profession. Then we call it as re-socialization. There are 4 types of socialization. The first one is primary. Second one is anticipatory. Then developmental socialization. And the last one is re-socialization, my dear friends. There are 4 types of socialization. Now let us discuss about the agencies of socialization. There are some agencies by which we are being educated. The first one is the family. The family is the first place where we are born, my dear friends. Where we are born. So the parents are going to teach us about the accepted norms and values, everything which are there in that particular society, so that we become the good citizen of that respective place or society. Parents, teachers, they provide all the basic needs, basic amenities, so that we turn from a human being to a social being, my dear friends. Family is the first place. So what must be the condition of the parents? Parents must not be too strict, either they must give too much freedom. If they give too much, what will happen? The first thing is that if you're going to give too much freedom, then the child will not know what are the restrictions, what are the conditions, everything. So obviously he may have a deviant behavior in the near future. And if you're going to give a lot of oppression or a lot of conditions, like at the time, it leads to psychological disturbance, and out of this disturbance, either he may have a deviant behavior, or else the child may also become introvert, my dear friends. So that is the reason neither too much freedom, neither too much restrictions must be there. The parents have to give the scope for the child to explore himself, at the same time learn and abide to the norms and values which are there in that particular society. Once the child has grown up little bit, the parents are going to drop the child in the school. So educational institutions are the second agencies of socialization. Once we go to the school, we are going to get the basic knowledge which is essential for our living, my dear friends. So what must be the quality of the teacher? Teacher has to understand the condition of the students and make them learn. You must have watched this movie Tare Zameen Par. In that, there was a child who was having dyslexia, nothing but the problem of identifying the alphabets. He doesn't know what is the difference between A and E or else B and P and so on, my dear friends. And most of the time, the teachers were punishing or else the parents were scolding the child saying that you are useless, you don't know how to read and write. And later on, they have dropped the child into the residential school. There, a teacher has identified the problem being faced by the child, and he sat with the child and he tried to educate him so that he can come out of that problem called dyslexia, my dear friends. So what we can do, beta, the duty of the teacher is to understand each and every person and train them properly. Each and every child is unique in their own way. The IQ levels which I have may not be the same compared with the other person. So the duty of the teacher is not to compare, but is to understand the problems and help them out. If the teacher is not going to understand, if all the teachers are going to punish, scold them, then the child will not have interest in the subject. So obviously, it is going to create hell for them. The third one, my dear friends, is the peer groups. Once we come from the school, we are going to play with our neighbor children, everything. Peer is nothing but the same age group. So this being with a winner makes you a winner. If you're going to have good friends, then obviously these friends are going to help you out in terms of molding your personality. And if you're going to make friendship with the people who have bad habits, then obviously it will also help us in gaining that bad qualities, my dear friends. So it is one of the important stage, my dear friends, peer group. The next one is whether someone asked me to wait. So first one is the family. Second one is educational institutions. Third one is peer groups, same age group. The fourth one, my dear friends, is mass media and literature. Mass media and literature. When this Vastav movie or Shiva movie in Telugu came, at the time there were only three gang leaders, especially in Warangal, because I hail from Warangal, which I have experienced. I'm telling it to you. There were three gang leaders in tri-cities of Warangal, one in Kajipet, one in Hanamkonda, and the other one at Warangal. But once this movie Shiva came, most of the college-going youth have watched and impressed with that movie, and they started having their own gangs, my dear friends. And for each and every lane or each and every street, there were some small gangs, and these people started fighting with each other during that. So mass media and literature is also going to influence in both positive way as well as negative way, my dear friends. So the last one is the society at large. Uh, one of my cousin, one of my cousin, she has gone to Arab countries because her child was working there. So he asked mom and dad, come to Dubai. I will make you visit some different places like. She went there, and after coming here to India, she asked Bhavani, come, I brought something for you. Then I went there, and once I went there, she gave me the album and she told me, you watch it and enjoy it. And when I opened the album, I saw most of her photos was in burqa, was in hijab. She's not a Muslim. She was not a Muslim, but do you know what she did? Before going to Dubai, she went to Charnar and she purchased two hijabs and she went there. She went there, and whenever there are male people like, she has simply covered her face and she took the photographs. And if people are not there around, she is to unveil her face and she is to take the photograph. So I asked my sister, what made you to do this? Then she said that I went to a different country, and there the rules and regulations are that a girl cannot unveil her face. So I want to go there. I want to enjoy the beauty, but at the same time, I want to go and enjoy the beauty, but at the same time, I do not want to create any trouble for themselves and neither for myself. So I simply followed the culture and tradition which is there in that particular country, my dear friends. Tomorrow, if I go to America, if I eat chocolate, I'm not going to throw the wrapper on the road. If I throw the wrapper, the police will simply come, ask my name, and they're going to keep a small receipt in my hand saying that $100 penalty. Even if I chew the tobacco and spit on the road, or else if I'm going to eat chocolate, throw the wrapper on the road, the penalty is $100. Whereas in India, we can do whatever we wish, my dear friends, but in America, it will not be. So tomorrow, if I go to America, I will abide to the norms and values which are there in that particular society. So there are five. There are five agencies of socialization. The first one is family. The second one is educational institutions. Third one is peer group. Fourth one is mass media and literature. And the last one is the society at large, nothing but the legislation, the rules and regulations, or anything, my dear friends. So these are the five agencies of socialization. Now let us discuss about the stages of socialization. There are three stages of socialization, my dear. Uh, there are three stages of socialization. The first one is oral stage. Once a child is born, from first day to 1 year, this socialization happens. We are going to give oral instructions, tata bolo, amma bolo, all these things. Then we call it as oral stage. Then after oral stage, from year 1 to 3 years, we call it as anal stage. Here we are going to teach the child how to express his feelings or requirements like thirsty, hungry, or if he wants to go to the nature call, all these things we are going to teach him. So we call this stage as anal stage. Oral stage is first one, first day to 1 year, and from 1 year to third year, we are going to call it as anal stage. And the third one is oedipal stage. From 3 years to 12 years, we call it as oedipal stage. And this stage is very, very important because the child has a lot of curiosity to learn different things. And he repeatedly goes to the parents and he asks, what is this? What is this? He may be asking about the same thing repeatedly. At the time, if the parents are going to get angry on them, or if they are going to punish them or scold them, tomorrow, if there is any genuine issue or a bigger problem, at the time, the child will not approach the parents to solve that because during the childhood days, we may have scolded him or we may have beaten him. So at the time he carries that, okay, if I go to my parents, they may kill me. So out of fear, he may not come to the parents. And there are chances that he may go to his go to his friends where he can get a negative advice or a bad advice wherein he can also ruin off his life, my dear friends. Oedipal stage is the best stage where the child wants to learn a lot of things and it's the duty of the parents to help him in this learning process. And after these three stages, we have one more fourth stage, which is very, very crucial in each and every individual. That is adolescent stage. Nothing but teenage, 13 to 18 years. Before in the oedipal stage, the child only has the curiosity to learn. But whereas in the adolescent stage, along with his learning, we also observe that there will be plenty of biological changes going on, nothing but hormonal changes. During this stage, most of the people, including myself when I was in that stage, my dear friends, we will be attracted to the opposite gender because of hormonal changes. You can see that the voice tone may vary and the urges may vary. Everything goes on changing just because of this hormonal changes. And at the time, if the children are not in a position to control their emotions properly, there are chances that they may simply have a bad habit, my dear friends, and they can simply. This is the stage where the child not only wants to learn, but also wants to detach himself from the parents, thinking that I'm grown up. And if the parents are going to have good relations with the child, then during this stage, the children will approach the parents for each and every aspect, or else there are chances that he may simply behave according to his will and wish, my dear friends. So these are the four stages. These are the four stages in terms of socialization. Now let us discuss about the theories of socialization. The first one is looking glass theory of self, given by C.H. Cooley. According to Cooley, there are three postulates of this theory. The first thing is that how I want to look to the other people. My imagination, how people are going to, how I want to look to the other people, I'm going to have an imagination. The second postulate of this theory is that how people are going to see the imagination of my appearance, how people are going to see. And the third one is based on the judgment, Either I'm going to feel happy or else I'm going to feel unhappy, my dear friends. There are three postulates. Let me give one example for you. When I was doing my masters at Nizam College way back in 2001, 2003, my mama told, Beta, you're going to the capital of the state and you're studying in one of the best colleges in the country or in the state, undivided Andhra Pradesh. She said, okay, you have only two or three pairs of clothes. Let me purchase you two or three more pairs. Then she has brought one of my favorite color, blue color, my mom's pink color shirt, and one was yellow color. At the time, it was chemki plain color dresses like. And I have stitched it. And the first day when I went to the college, I put on the pink color dress and I went there. And once I got down of the bus, one of my friend who was doing MA literature, he saw and said, Bhavani, arey wah, naya dress. Then I said, yes, man, it's a new dress. This pink color is my mom's favorite color. Then he said, do you know what is the meaning of pink? I said, I don't know. It's my mom's favorite color. So I thought, let it be. Then he asked, do you know what is the meaning of pink color in America? Then I told him, Arey yaar, I don't know what is the meaning of pink in India, and you're expecting me to know the meaning of pink color in America. Then do you know what he said? He said, pink color is a gay color. It is a symbol. Once he said that, I'm not a gay, I'm neither in America, but once he told me that pink color is a gay color, then the next moment, do you know what I did? I turned out of the college, caught the bus, went to the hostel, and neatly packed it. And when I came back to Warangal, to my hometown, I brought that pink color shirt to my mom and I said, Mom, I don't want this color shirt anymore. Then my mom asked me, why? This is one of the costliest dress which I purchased for you. And I can't tell my mama that it is a gay color shirt. I don't want to use it, my dear friends. I simply told my mom, Mama, I don't like it anymore. So please don't ask me any more questions. And from that day on till now, my dear friends, most of the time, I never used to prefer pink color if I go outside, instead of not being in America, instead of not being a gay, my dear friends. So there are three postulates: how I want to look to the other people, how people are going to judge me, okay, and the third one is based on it, and either going to be happy or unhappy. If I'm going to be happy at the time, I'm going to repeat the things, and if I'm not going to be unhappy, if I'm unhappy, then I will stop doing that activities, my dear friends. So that is the first theory given by C.H. Cooley, my dear friends. The next one is Sigmund Freud theory of human mind. According to Sigmund Freud, Freud, according to Sigmund Freud, he said that the human mind is divided into three compartments. One is id, ego, and super ego. Id will try to satisfy the animal instincts of the human being. What are the animal instincts, beta? Like we feel hungry, we feel thirsty, we feel the temperature, and so on. And we also want the physical urge or the sexual impulse. All these are the animal instinct, because even the animals also have that, and even the social animal also have that animal instincts of feeling hungry, thirsty, or the sexual impulse, and so on, my dear friends. So it will try to satisfy the animal instincts of the human being. And the second one is ego. Ego acts as the mediator. Ego acts as the mediator between the animal instincts, the desires, and the goals, my dear friends. And the super ego will try to help the people to always stick on to the norms and values which are there in that particular society. We call it as super ego. Okay, so he has said that, for example, think you are very, very hungry and you did not have the food for almost a week's time, and no one is offering you the food. What will you do? Obviously, because we are feeling very, very hungry, we try to ask the people, but if they're not going to respond and if they're not going to give the food for you at the time, what do? Beta? We simply rob the food, or else if required, we also go and beat them and we'll take the food, my dear friends. So when we are in the id stage, at the time, we are not going to see whether we stick on to the norms and values. which are there in that particular society. So id, ego, and super ego. And the next one is um, the other theory. It talks about generalized others and significant others. Each and every individual are going to take roles and they are going to learn about the importance of that role playing, my dear friends. But now, when you're a kid, have you ever played any games like Teacher's Friend? Like we used to put on a dhoti, or else a girl used to put on a towel, and we used to pretend just like a teacher. And once we used to go there, all the disciples are the friends used to stand up and they are going to greet the teacher. Means we have learned that teacher should be respected. And each and every teacher, whether it's a male or female, doesn't matter, they are going to have their respective dress style. And the teacher is going to deliver the lectures. So we have learned that the teacher is the source of knowledge where we are going to gain the knowledge. And then teacher also used to check our learning capacity, and she used to put on right, good, very good, everything, or else wrong, my dear friends. So teacher can also judge us. And the teacher also have the right to also punish us and put us in the right direction, my dear friends. So we have learned this in this teaching and learning process in the form of role playing. So we take different roles and we are going to know about the importance of that particular roles, my dear friends. And in this process, we try to know about significant others and generalized others. Guys, when your kids, like, whether you were very, very close to your mom or dad, most of us, we were very, very close to our mom because mama used to satisfy all our requirements. Like once we wake up, help us in brushing our teeth, then neat clothes, and then breakfast, lunch, whatever we require, like toffees, everything. Mama used to take care of all these things. So we have been very, very close to our mom because she is the source of everything for us, my dear friends. But once we are growing and once we want costlier things, for example, I want to purchase a bicycle. So I went to my mom and I said, Mama, I want bicycle. So my mama, in turn, she went to my dad and she said that our child is asking for a bicycle. Our child is asking for a bicycle. So my mama used to ask my dad. So I have seen that for small, small things, mama, for routine things, mama, but for costlier things, for permission to go to a picnic, for money, everything, mama also goes to papa. So because I'm not closely associated, because I have fear of my dad, I used to use my mama as a means so that mama goes to papa and she gets all the required permissions and required things from my dad, my dear friends. So I'm going to make significance between my mom and dad. So that's the reason why we call it as significant others. So once we go to the school, we are going to make generalizations what a teacher does, what is the duty of a traffic police, an advocate, and so on, my dear friends. So in this process also, the child is going to keep himself in the different places and is going to learn, my dear friends. So socialization is one of the important aspect in the life of the individuals. Properly socialized is going to become a good citizen, or else there are chances that the child may behave according to his will and wish, not by abiding to the rules and regulations which are there in that particular society, but in a different manner wherein there will be conflict of thought, there will be conflict of action. Now let us discuss about culture. What do you mean by culture? Any one of you guys? What do you mean by culture? Sanskruti ante enti nana? Hello?
Culture is basically a trait that is being that a group of people follow, which has been in which has been inset from a long time within a specific group of people.
Okay. Who has created this culture? Whether it's a god or we people?
Culture is something that is created within society, within
According to Malinowski, we people have created. Sorry? We people, yeah. According to Malinowski, Human beings in contact with the nature, they have created this culture. And as the people are being exposed to the nature, they started adding one after the other element so that we abide to it. What is the need for us to abide? So because based on the encounter with the nature, based on the conditions with the nature, they have brought so that we people will be very, very happy. For example, if you see the Hindu festivals or any gatherings like, they are going to decorate the house with the mango leaf. What is the need for us to have this? Is there any science involved in that, or is it just a tradition? What is it?
Of course, it's a tradition, I guess.
There is no science involved in that. Okay, let's go back to our sixth or seventh class. In our school, we have a lesson called photosynthesis, if you remember, guys.
Mhm.
And in that lesson, there was a bottle and there was a leaf. Half of the leaf was inside the bottle, whereas half of the leaf was outside the bottle. I hope all of you remember that.
Yes.
The leaf which was inside the bottle died, whereas the leaf which was outside did not die. That means its respiratory system is functioning. That means it is taking carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen.
Oxygen.
Okay. In the olden days, there used to be only one masjid, one church, or one temple, and it used to be collective gatherings or prayers like. So we used to cut down all the trees, cut down all the bushes, and we used to make artificial roofs, and we used to go and do the prayer. Think, no trees, nothing like. Sometimes there can be lack of oxygen. If there is lack of oxygen, it leads to suffocation. Then can you concentrate on the religious or social gathering or celebrations? Obviously, no. See, I'm sitting in front of my house beneath the mango tree, and instead of that, you can see the sweat, my dear friends. But think there is no plants, no trees, nothing like, and hundreds of people are going to gather at that locality. What happens? It may lead to suffocation. And during summer, if the gathering is during summer, because of temperature, the air becomes hotter, it becomes lighter, and it moves upward. So there can be shortage of or lack of oxygen where the people can also be put to death. So our ancestors have understood that mango leaf, after detaching from the tree, it is not going to die instantly, but its respiratory system is functioning. It takes carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So they used to have it to the wrist in the form of kankanamu. So that what happens, beta? You're going to carry your own oxygen cylinder. That means you're not going to be put to death. So at the time of religious or social gatherings, they are going to decorate the house or the function hall with the mango leaf so that there will be abundant supply of oxygen so that people can concentrate on that ceremony or activity. My dear friends, there is some science involved in that. So for each and everything, it is based on their experiences, based on the encounter with the nature, they have formed this culture, my dear friends. Okay, so culture is learned. Now let us discuss about the characteristics of culture. The first one is it is learned. Once we are born, we don't know anything. My dear friends, our parents are going to teach us. So they are going to teach. That is how we are going to learn. So first one is it is learned by the individuals. The second characteristic is that because our parents, because the societal members are going to share that with us, we are going to learn it. So second one is it is shared. They are sharing it. Beta, boys, are you putting on this shirt? What is the actual name, beta? When your kids like, you must have learned about this. You know what is the meaning, name of this? Nowadays we call it as shirt, but before that there was some other name. Have you guys, have you heard about kameez?
Uh-huh.
Kameez. Kameez सिलवाया क्या बोलते हैं? Kameez.
Mhm.
Okay. Kameez, is it a
Yes, sir.
Telugu, Hindi, Sanskrit? Which word?
Hindi, sir.
I think Urdu.
Sorry, it is neither Hindi, neither Urdu, neither Sanskrit, neither Telugu.
Arab.
It is Spanish word.
Uh-huh.
It is la camisa. La camisa is a Spanish word which means shirt. And if you are from Hyderabad, in near Himayat Nagar, there is a shop called Pantaloons. Do you know what is the meaning of pantaloons? Actually, it is a Spanish word, los pantalones. It is los pantalones means pint. So actually, before Spanish people came to India, we used to have the concept of weaving, but there was no concept of stitching. There was no concept of stitching. So when the Spanish people came to India, we saw their culture of dress patterns, and we liked it, and we have adopted it, my dear friends. That is the reason why there was no Telugu neither Sanskrit word, my dear friends. We simply adopted the stitching pattern, also the name of that garment, my dear friends, at that time, because the shade that we learned it, my dear friends. Remember that. So it is learned, it is shared, my dear friends. And the third one is it is being transmitted from one generation to the other generation. It is being transmitted. So it is transmissive. My great grandparents have taught to my grandparents in turn to my parents, and my parents have taught it to me. And tomorrow I'm going to teach the same culture to my children. So it is being passed on from one generation to the other generation. So it is transmissive. Learned, shared, transmitted. Okay. And whether culture is dynamic or not, my dear friends, culture is dynamic. It goes on changing, my dear friends. Once upon a time, if we want to pass on the message, people used to use pigeons at the time of kingdoms. I'm talking about thousands of years back. And later on, what happened, beta? We have phones, then pages, and right now we also have mobile phones. We can see each other, and we are going to communicate with each other sitting at far away distance places, my dear friends. So it is dynamic in nature. It is not static. It is dynamic in nature. Okay. Whether it is adaptive or not, guys, I just told you, like Spanish people came here and we liked it. So what we have done, beta, we adopted it. So it can also be adaptive in nature. It is learned, it is shared, it is being transmitted, it is adaptive in nature, it is social in nature, it is dynamic, my dear friends. So these are the basic characteristics of culture. Ogburn has classified culture into two types, OGBURN. Ogburn has classified culture into two types. One is material culture and the other one is non-material culture. Whatever the material which we use from our birth till death, it is going to become a part and parcel of our material culture. Once we wake up, we are going to brush. Brush is the material, comb is the material, cloth is the material, the food which I have is the material. So whatever material I use, it is going to become a part and parcel of material culture. Then what is this non-material culture? Our belief, our customs, our traditions, all these are going to become a part and parcel of non-material culture. Both this material culture and non-material culture go hand in hand. For example, guys, can I perform a Hindu marriage? Or a Muslim or a Christian marriage? Guys, yes or no? Can I perform or not?
Depends on whether you possess that knowledge or not.
For Hindu marriage, I'm supposed to be a Brahmin. If I'm not a Brahmin, I'm not supposed to. That is a belief. And if I'm not a Maulana, if I'm not a brother, then I cannot initiate the marriage process. Even though I know how to perform the marriage, because I do not possess that particular certification, I will not be able to perform it because the society does not accept it. Belief system, my dear friends. So here, if you see the Hindu marriage, the boy is going to tie the three knots. That is Mangal Sutra is the material. But do you know, it is going to have auspiciousness when the priest is going to chant the spells like Mangalyam Tanduname Navajivana Hetunam. So when a priest is going to chant these spells, at that time, if the boy is going to tie the three knots to the girl, at that time they believe that the bond is going to sustain for months, years, or for the entire lifetime. That is the belief which we have. So both the material culture and the non-material culture go hand in hand, my dear friends. But sometimes, do you know what happens, beta? One of the culture will be moving very, very fast, whereas the other culture will be moving very, very slow. I'm not going to say that it will not move at on, but it will be moving in a slow manner. That means one is lagging behind and the other one is moving very, very fast. So we call it as cultural lag. If you see in America, for each and everything, my dear friends, they want to prove it in a scientific way. Once upon a time, they said there are no spirits, there are no ghosts, no dayam, nothing like. But right now, they want to prove that they are ghosts, and that too in a scientific way, for which they have invented a machine also. And they are saying that the ghost is nothing but more negative energy. Wherever there is more negative energy, this antenna are going to coincide with each other and it's going to make huge sound by which we can identify there are spirits or ghosts in that particular area. That is what is their belief system, my dear friends. There the material culture is moving very, very fast, whereas non-material culture, blind faith, tradition, all these are moving slowly or lagging behind, my dear friends. Whereas if you go to Africa, there the non-material culture is moving very, very fast, whereas the material culture is lagging behind. Beta, all of us know that there are only four ways by which HIV or AIDS spread. One is through physical relation. The second one is through use needles. Third one is blood transmission. And the fourth one is from mother to child. If the mother is AIDS patient at the time of pregnancy, there are chances that even that can be passed on to the child. So there are only four ways. But in Africa, I'm talking about 1980s, uh, early 90s, like Africa was number one in terms of HIV or AIDS. So World Health Organization wants to know how come Africa is number one in terms of HIV or AIDS during 1980s and 90s, like. So at the time when they went there, they came to know that these people, if they have the symptoms of HIV or AIDS, they used to think that a ghost has occupied their body. And if the ghost has to move away from the body, they used to think that the boy needs to have a physical relation with a spinster, means unmarried girl. So obviously what happens, Beta? Just because of that, the HIV, that virus is being spread from one person to the other person. So blind faith is very, very dominating even now in some of the African countries, whereas material culture is lagging behind. So we call this as cultural lag, my dear friends. So if they ask in the question like, they will ask about culture, what are the characteristics of culture? And they may ask about types of culture or cultural lag, my dear friends. I will just conclude by discussing about the elements of culture. The first one is cultural traits. The basic things by which we are going to identify a people, we call it as cultural traits. Looking at my facial appearance, like looking at this bindi, people may identify that I'm a Hindu, something like a Muslim with a burqa, a Sikh with a turban. All these are the basic traits. So by basic traits, we are going to identify the people. The second one is these basic traits together are going to become patterns. Oh, sorry, complexes. All these together are going to become complex. And in order to do this, we are going to have certain pattern, my dear friends. For example, tying Mangal Sutra is a knot. The priest is going to chant the spells is a trait. So all these traits together, combined together, we are going to have a complex and we are going to have a procedure or a pattern, my dear friends. So we have traits, complex, and patterns. And each and every place, each and every culture is going to have a specific geographical area. If I go to Jammu and Kashmir, the clothes which I put on, and if I'm going to be in Rajasthan, the clothes which I wear, it varies from place to place based on the geographical conditions, my dear friends. So each and every culture is going to have a geographical area. And each and every geographical area is going to have their specialities. Nepal, sweaters. If you go to Jammu and Kashmir, carpets are famous. If you go to Nirmal, wooden toys are famous. Hyderabad is very, very famous for biryani. So each and every place is going to have its own speciality, my dear friends. So each and every culture is going to have a geographical area, and each and every geographical area is going to have their own specialities, my dear friends. So these are the basic elements of culture. And each and every culture is also going to have certain symbols as well as signs by which we identify the belief system or the culture, my dear friends. For Hindus, we have swastika or Om. For Christians, we are going to have the Holy Cross. And for the Muslims, we are going to have a crescent with a star, my dear friends. So these are the religious symbols. And for if we go and take part in the Olympics, we are going to carry our national flag by which people are going to identify they are from India, from America, or from Pakistan, or from so and so geographical area. So for each and every culture, we are going to have certain signs as well as symbols, my dear friends. Okay, so we'll stop here, guys, and from tomorrow we'll have the class in time. Just guys, if I'm not coming, if I might be busy at the time, I request you guys to just ping me up. Okay, if you want, you can also take my number.
Sir, can I know your number, please?
Yeah, 98 98
98
492
492
92348 92348.
Dr. Shankar, we don't have classes scheduled tomorrow.
Okay. So whenever
This
you
will
are
only-
like, if you have any doubts also, you are free to contact me. Okay.
Sure, Dr. Shankar. Thank you so much and really appreciate your lecture. It was amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Excuse
beta.
me, sir.
Yes, please tell me. Hello, tell me, beta. Hello.
Sir,
Anita,
actually, I want to know which material we should follow.
the material which they have given is okay, beta. But if you are preparing for competitive exams like civils or any exam, it is better you also refer C.N. Shankar Rao for basics, and then followed by themes and perspectives by Harlan Bose.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, can you give any important questions about this?
Yeah. Beta, whatever the important questions are there, first we'll try to refer that, we'll discuss that, and later on the other one. The first lesson like introduction, like they may ask like define sociology and explain the nature and scope, or else define sociology and explain its relation with other social sciences. That will come damn sure out of these two. And socialization and culture may also come. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So,
Sir,
yes, sir. Hello.
Okay,
Hi,
Dr.
sir.
Shankar, we have another class in 2 minutes.
Okay.
English Lit. So
సార్
I
అసైన్మెంట్
think we will-
సబ్మిషన్ ఇవన్నీ మీకు కొంచెం ఐడియా ఉందా సార్?
నాకు లేదు నాన్న, నేను తెలుసుకొని చెప్తాను. లేకుంటే వెబ్సైట్ లో చూడండి, సరేనా?
వెబ్సైట్ లో. ఓకే సార్.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much
Thank you, sir.
for
Thank you,
sparing
Dr.
class.
Shankar.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
అమ్మా అయిపోయిందా? ఇదిగో అమ్మా చింతల్లి ఏమంటుందో తెలుసా? సార్ని ఇదిగో అమ్మా చింతల్లి సార్ని నీ వెనకాల ఉంది ఇదిగో